Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be taking a look at Krystal Lee Kenney. Do you remember who she is? Krystal Lee Kenney was the nurse who was involved romantically with Patrick Frazee. And Patrick Frazee is the one who is, well, they believe killed his ex, the mother of his child. But we need to also understand that Krystal Lee Kenney was a married woman who was involved with Patrick, and she also helped him cover up the crime scene there at where they believe Kelsey Berreth was murdered, and then helped Patrick Frazee get away with the crime by doing additional things on top of it. She had taken a plea agreement in this case. And in the state of Colorado, she was looking at a pretty lengthy prison sentence if they were to find her guilty on all the charges and given her the maximum sentence that she could have been given for her involvement in this crime. But she had taken a plea agreement to avoid the stiff sentence that she was looking at, and she instead pled guilty to one count of tampering with evidence in this case. And the standard sentencing range for her was 1 year to 1.5 years for tampering with the evidence. But now we have an entirely different situation going on. The state appellate court has decided that there were several errors involved in the case that should have been brought up into the jury, judge, and should have been in the plea agreement itself, because they had put forth the state the plea agreement that said, look, we can find you guilty underneath the aggravated circumstances in this case. And under aggravated circumstances, you're looking at a much lengthier, more than double, or if not double, the sentencing range for the crimes that we believe you took part in. So at the minimum, she would have gotten a 3 to 5 year sentence, and maybe more if it went to the jury. The jury could have said, look, the standard presumptive range is 3 years, but we want to punish you even more for your involvement in this crime. And they could have given her a much lengthier sentence on top of that. So the appellate court came down and handed down the decision that the errors were the judge, the prosecuting attorney, and her defense made the mistakes of not putting in the actual paperwork, the aggravating sentences, circumstances to give her a 3 year sentence. And now she could be going home in just a little over a year from her plea agreement. She could be going home in as little as maybe 3 months from now. And that would then convert to a 1 year probation period where, plus court fines, of course, and attorney's fees. But she is most likely going to go home. The errors that took place in this case, though, are many. And it's kind of shocking when you look at the case and you start to look at, like, well, why didn't her defense make sure that this was in there? Why didn't the judge make sure that this was in the actual paperwork itself, and the aggravated circumstances were there? Why didn't the district attorney make sure it was there? I mean, so many people missed the ball on this one. It's kind of shocking that it went this far and nobody caught the error, because before the judge can ever sentence someone, the aggravating circumstances had to be there. He had to read the actual plea agreement that she was entering into, that she fully agreed to enter, and she had to say, look, I'm not being coerced into this. I'm not being forced into this. I'm not doing this because I of anything else. she had to answer to that stuff. And yet her attorneys, she has two attorneys, by the way, both of her attorneys missed it. The DA missed the ball that it wasn't there. But regardless, she's going home. And Patrick Frazee, case, goes on. Kelsey Berreth, where is she? What's going on with Kelsey? Where did Kelsey Berreth go? Did Patrick bury her on the farm, on his land? We don't know. At this point, we may never know what he did with her. We know two things, though, is there's a little child out there who doesn't have their mother. And we know that Kelsey Berreth is gone. The forensic evidence shows that the attack happened, in the most horrific way. Blood splatter was found on the rafters, on the walls. A thorough cleanup had happened. And this wasn't just an accident, where somebody cut their finger. We know the most horrific things happened to Kelsey Berreth. And now the only party, who may have been able to help, she isn't going to talk. She's certainly not going to talk, because if she does now at this point, it opens her up to a whole new set of criminal charges in this case. So Krystal Kenney is going home. And she's going home a lot sooner than she should have. Personally, my feelings on this case don't matter either way. But I think that she should have served a much lengthier sentence than 1 year or 3 years. I think the evidence was there to show that she took a larger part in this entire thing. But I'm not the jury, nor am I the judge in this case. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great day today. Stay safe and stay warm out there. Until next time.
Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you'd give this a thumbs up, and let YouTube and the algorithm know that you enjoyed this content. If you have only watched one video and this is it, well, thank you for stopping by. But I have a whole channel of over 500 videos for on YouTube right now. Why don't you go check one out? Links down below. There's a next suggested video there. You can subscribe too. I wouldn't mind if you would do that.